The Outcast by Sharan Kumar Limbale. Sharan Kumar Limbale is a Maharashtrian author, poet, and literary critic. He called himself a Akkarmashi. Akkarmashi means half caste or outcast. As he himself describes, I am an Akkarmashi. I am condemned, branded, illegitimate. Illegitimate. An illegitimate child is a child born to parents who are not legally married. His mother was an untouchable woman belonging to the Mahar community. Mahar caste is considered a lower caste, considered as a lower caste and untouchable. His father is a high caste Patel. So he neither belongs to Mahar caste or to a higher caste. He is an Akkarmashi, an outcast. He called himself an outcast, Akkarmashi. Limbale wrote more than 40 books. More than 40 books were penned by him. Limbale said, writing is a form of rebellion to him. Writing is a form of rebellion to him. The protest of the Dalit community, the protest of the Dalits is not only in the streets but also on paper. He says, my words are my weapons. My words are my weapons. The Outcast was translated into English by Santosh Bungar in 2003 and it has been translated into several Indian languages. Limbale defines Dalit literature as not the literature of imagination but a literature of atrocities. A literature that portrays the miseries, the sufferings that the Dalits suffer and also the atrocities, the cruelties they face from the high caste Hindus. Limbale has written more than 40 books. His significant works include Hindu, Bahujan, Dalit Brahmin, and Om. Akkarmashi literally means impure of blood. Impure of blood. He called himself Akkarmashi because he is an illegitimate son of a Patel, a high caste man. But his mother belongs to Mahar community, Mahar caste. he considers himself as not belonging to any caste. Now the text, Outcast. It is an extract from his autobiographical novel Akkarmashi. Akkarmashi is the most famous of his books. His critical work towards an aesthetics of Dalit literature also is a famous and important work. So this extract tells us about the bitter experiences that he faced when he was at school. As a school student, he has suffered a lot. He tells us about one day, all the boys and girls from our school were going on a picnic, but we, the Mahar boys, did not know this and so had come to school as usual. Our school bags on our backs. That day, all the boys and girls from the school were going on a picnic. That day, all the boys and girls in the school are going on a picnic. And all the boys and girls came to school prepared for it. Without school bags, they came to all the children, all the boys and girls, except the Mahar boys. Except the Mahar boys. They did not know it. They did not have any idea about this picnic, and they came to school as usual. The boys and girls of the Mahar caste came to school as usual that day with school bags on their backs. With school bags. But all the other children came to school prepared for the picnic. They came to school without school bags. They came to school in a happy mood at the prospect of this picnic. Then our teacher asked us also to go back and get our tiffin. Then the teacher asked them to go back to their house, to go back home and get their tiffin. And to get their tiffin. To eat on the way during the picnic. Excited at the thought of being out of school, we ran home like oxen in a race on the Kar day. Kar day is Kar is a bull worshipping festival in Maharashtra. A bull worshipping festival in Maharashtra. Kar. Oxen race is a part of that festival. Oxen race. The race of the bulls. Then they became excited when the teacher told them that they should get back with their tiffin. They became excited at the thought of being out of school, and they ran home like oxen in a race on the third day. They ran home excited. Excited, they ran home like oxen in a race on the third day. Just like the oxen that participate in the bull worshipping festival in Maharashtra. We return with our jawar bakri and chutney tied up in dirty rags. They returned with their tiffin. They returned with their tiffin with our jawar bakri. Jawar bakri. Bakri is a food item resembling the chapati. Jawar bakri made from jawar. Bakri made from jawar. Jawar bakri and chutney tied up in dirty rags. Tied up in dirty cloths. Rags, torn cloths. And joined the group of boys and girls who were standing in rows. They soon joined the group of boys and girls who were standing in rows. Just then, Bivarabai appeared gripping the stalk of a dry jawar plant. Bivarabai is a woman, a parent of a child named Portia. Bivarabai, her son is studying in this school. Just then, Bivarabai appeared gripping the stalk of a dry jawar plant. He was very angry. He was very angry. He did not want her son to go on picnic. So she came to school with a stick in her hand to beat Portia if he refuses to go with her, go back home. So she was holding the stalk of a jawar plant. He was holding in her hand the stalk of the stem of a dry jawar plant in order to beat her son if he insists on going on picnic. Roughly she pulled Portia from his row, making him cry. He pulled Portia from the row. Pulled Portia from the row, and he started crying, making him cry. Bivarabai dragged him off. Portia wanted to go on the picnic with us, but Bivarabai wouldn't let him. Portia wanted to go on picnic, but his mother is not going to let him. Mother says, Portia, follow me or I will kick you. He is shouting at her son. You follow me or I will kick you. Your father has left to dig pits without eating anything. Portia's father has gone to dig pits. He has gone to work in the early morning without eating food. Without eating food. It is Portia's duty. It is Portia's duty to take food to him. Without taking food to his father, Portia has come to school. That made Portia's mother angry, and she is shouting at Portia. Your father has left to dig pits without eating anything. You must take his food to him or he will starve the whole day. If you don't take food to him, he will starve. He will starve the whole day. He will chop you to pieces when he returns. He will cut you into pieces. He will cut you into pieces when he returns. Come along. Veerabai was annoyed at Portia and she lashed his back, abusing him. She started beating him and she started to abuse him. It felt strange to be moving with all the teachers, boys and girls in a single group. Now the picnic started. It felt strange to be moving with all the teachers. It is a strange experience going with the teachers and all the boys and girls in the school to go on picnic. It is a strange experience. It felt strange to be moving with all the teachers, boys and girls in a single group. Women gathering dry dung cakes watched us admiringly. When they were walking, they saw women gathering dry dung. Women gathering dry dung cakes watched us admiringly. With admiration, they watched us. We were excited. Haria, who was grazing cattle along the banks of the stream, looked restless. They saw Haria. Haria is a dropout. His father, Haria, was a former student of the school. His father took him away from the school and put him to work. Haria, who was grazing cattle along the banks of the stream. So Haria is now employed on Girmalia's farm. Haria is now employed on Girmalia's farm and his job is grazing the cattle. His job is grazing the cattle. When Haria saw us going on picnic, he became restless. He became worried and uneasy. He became uneasy when he saw us. So Haria was a dropout. His father took him away from the school and put him to work grazing cattle. Haria saw us. He was grazing cattle. He appeared very uneasy, thinking that he cannot join us. For his hard work, he received food and 100 rupees a year. For his work, for his hard work, he received food and 100 rupees a year. He will be given 100 rupees at the end of the year. He will be given 100 rupees at the end of the year. He also received food. Hariya's mother didn't even have proper clothes. Most of the time, everyone in his house was only half fed. Their life was very miserable. They were so poor. Hariya's mother did not have proper clothes. Most of the time, they were half fed. They were half fed. They did not have enough food in the house to eat to their fill. Now that Hariya had started working, he was no longer a burden. When Hariya started working without going to school, when he was put to work, when he was employed on the Himalayas farm, then he is no longer a burden to the family. He is no longer a trouble to the family, but an asset to the family. Now he has become an asset to the family. The question of his bread was solved. Now his parents need not worry about his food because he got food and also 100 rupees a year. There would be his pay at the end of every year. Clothes could be brought now for everyone in the house with that money. With the 100 rupees, with the 100 rupees that Hariya gets at the end of the year, clothes were bought. Clothes were bought for every member of the family. As we all passed by in rows, Hariya astride a buffalo was singing. So when we were passing by in rows, Hariya was sitting on a buffalo. Hariya was sitting on a buffalo. He was singing. The tough boys of the group went up the trees and the other boys and girls ran about all over the place. The children are very happy. They are very much thrilled, very much excited. The tough boys of the group climbed up the trees. The tough boys of the group climbed up the trees, and the other boys and girls ran about all over the place. The girls played Fugadi. Fugadi is a game that girls usually play. Fugadi. The girls played Fugadi. So in Fugadi, they hold their hands and move in a circle. That's the game. Their teachers card game. The teachers played card games. The girls played Fugadi. The tough boys of the group climbed up the trees. There was great fun and excitement. Too young to participate, I merely watched them from a distance. The narrator, the author, did not participate in the games because he was a small child. He was a small child. He just watched them from a distance, admiring them as those dung gathering women had admired us. Just as the dung gathering women admired us, he also is watching the other boys and girls who are playing. The Vani and Brahmin boys played kabaddi. The Vani and Brahmin boys, the high caste boys and boys, the high caste boys, Vani and Brahmin boys, they played kabaddi. Kabaddi. Being marked as Mahars, we couldn't join them. We are Mahar children. We belong to the lower caste Mahar. We are untouchables. We are untouchables. We are not allowed to touch the Brahmin boys or girls. So, we didn't join them. Being marked as Mahars, we couldn't join them. Because Kabaddi is a game that involved touching and catching the opponents. So, Malya, Ambriya, Parshya, all from my caste began to play touch and go. So, the children of the Mahar caste, the lower caste, Malya, Ambriya, Parshya. This is another Parshya, another student, Parshya. All from my caste began to play touch and go. We played another game because we couldn't join the upper caste boys and upper caste boys who are playing kabaddi. So we played a different game, touch and go. We played touch and go. We played one kind of game while the high caste village boys played another. The two games were played separately like two separate whirlwinds. Play over, we settled down to eat. Now the play is over. Now we started. We sat to eat. Boys and girls from the high caste like Vani, Brahmin, Marwari, Muslim, Paratha, Teli, fishermen, goldsmiths, and all the teachers, about 100 or so, sat in a circle under a banyan tree. Now the children and the teachers, they are all about 100. They are about 100. They are all sitting under a banyan tree. All the upper caste children and also the teachers are now sitting in a circle under a banyan tree. We, the Mahar boys and girls, were asked to sit under another tree. We were not allowed to join this group, and we were asked to sit under another tree. The high caste one said a prayer before eating, which didn't make any sense to us. Before eating, the high caste children said a prayer which we did not understand. We didn't understand the meaning of the prayer. Parshya didn't even have a piece of cloth to tie up his food in. Parshya did not have even a piece of cloth to tie up his food. So his bakkaris were tied with mine. Parshya's food also was tied with my food. Malya had brought bombil fish. Malya, the lower caste child, had brought bombil fish. Ambriya had brought only bakkari. and no chutney. Amriya did not bring chutney. He brought only bakri. We opened our bundles. The high caste children offered their food to our teachers. The high caste children are sharing their food with the teachers. Theirs was a variety of fried and tasty food. So the food that the upper caste children brought was different. It was a variety of fried and tasty food. Even the tree we sat under was tattered. Tattered means torn, broken. Even the tree we sat under was tattered like us, broken like us. Whenever the wind shook its branches, it produced waves of hot air that hit our faces. We sat in its broken shadow. Malya offered us his bombil curry, and in exchange we offered him our dry bakris, as he had not brought any. So we began to eat, sharing food. Dare I offer my chutney bakri to my teacher? Then I thought, if I offer my chutney and bakri to our children, will he accept it? Will he accept it? Just as they are eating the food offered by the upper caste children, would he eat it? If I offer my chutney bakri to my teacher, would he eat it? Bakris of the high caste were, of course, of a better quality. Their mothers had given them fried food, whereas we had just pieces of dry bakris which were hardly enough to satisfy the cave of hunger. So the food we had is not enough to satisfy our hunger. Not enough to satisfy our hunger. But the mothers of the upper caste children had given them fried food. But we had only pieces of bakris which were not enough to satisfy our hunger. My stomach was like a way to the graveyard that continuously swallows the dead. So I have great appetite. I was very hungry. I never felt full. My stomach was like a way to the graveyard. His stomach is compared to the road to the graveyard. Graveyard, the burial place. Masanam. His stomach is compared to the way to the graveyard, which is never satisfied with the dead bodies that it swallows. That continuously swallows the dead. My stomach is also like the road to the graveyard, which continuously swallows the dead bodies. My mother Masamai used to shout angrily. Seeing my excessive hunger, my mother used to shout in anger, "What's it you have a stomach or Akkalkot?" Akkalkot is a town. Akkalkot is the name of a town in Maharashtra. Akkalkot. So mother is asking angrily, "What's it you have, a stomach or Akkalkot?" Is it a stomach or a town that you have? Is it a stomach or a town that you have? Why are you so hungry? Why are you never satisfied? There seems to be a gizzard in your stomach. Gizzard is a part of the stomach of birds. Part of the stomach of birds. Do you have a gizzard? Do you have the stomach of a bird? Why are you so much hungry always? Why are you never satisfied? Mother is asking always. Why don't you go around with a big bowl at your mouth? I always felt half wet. I never felt full. I never felt full. I always felt half wet. Whatever was given, I ate greedily, and nothing was ever enough. Whatever I got, I ate greedily, and nothing was enough. Nothing was enough to satisfy my hunger. Everyone in my house needed food, so how could I alone think of eating till I was full? The other members of the family also needed food. The other members of the family also needed food. Then how can I eat till I was full? How can I eat till I was full? I am not the only person, only member in the family. There are other members also. They also needed food. Everyone in my house needed food, so how could I alone think of eating till I was full? I had searched for every bit of leftover food in the house to make up my tiffin. I had searched for every bit of leftover food. Leftover food, the food that remains. Uchishtam. To fill my tiffin, I had to search for every bit of leftover food in the house. I felt I had swallowed the whole land and was chewing stones. I felt like a person who swallowed the whole land and after that chewed stones. The high caste girls from our village offered us their curry and bakris without touching us. The high caste girls from our village, their village, offered them curry and bakris. The high caste girls from their village offered them curry and bakris without touching us. They took care not to touch us when they offered curry and bakri to us. The thought that they might have seen our food upset me. I was ashamed of my food and felt guilty eating it. I felt ashamed thinking whether the upper caste girls saw our food. I felt guilty eating it. The high caste boys and girls from the village were eating together. So this caste discrimination is evident in the manner they eat food. The high caste boys and girls from the village were eating together. The girls sat close to the teachers. They were all chatting and we sat like owls watching them. The upper caste children, they are eating together. The girls are sitting close to the teachers. They were chatting. We just sat like owls watching them. We just watched them. We were watching them like owls. We had before us only the crumbs of Bombay. There is no much food before us. There is no much food in front of us. Only the crumbs of Bombay, pieces of Bombay fish. That's the only food before us. With each morsel, I chewed the lips of the laughing girls. With each morsel. Morsel is a small amount. I chewed the lips of the laughing girls. At last we finished eating. The teacher asked the high caste boys and girls to collect the leftovers on a piece of paper and give it to us. Now the eating is over. Then the teacher asked the high caste boys and girls to collect the leftovers. ഉച്ചിഷ്ടമൊക്കെ കളക്ട് ചെയ്ത് ഇവർക്ക് കൊടുക്കാൻ. The high caste boys and girls to collect the leftovers on a piece of paper and give it to us. I and Portia carried the bundle of leftover food on the way back. I and Portia carried the bundle of leftover food on the way back. The high caste boys and girls were laughing and joking, but our whole attention was on the bundle. We felt very hungry. Our whole attention was on the bundle which contained the leftover food. Malya carried a bundle of bakri on his head. Malya is carrying a bundle of bakris on his head, the leftover food, and we, the Mahar boys, followed him excitedly like hungry vultures. Vulture, a bird of prey. Karugan. We followed Malya. Malya is carrying a bundle of bakris on his head, and we followed him excitedly like hungry vultures. At last we gathered in Girmalia's farm and opened the bundle. So they have started their return journey. Now they reach Girmalia's farm. Then they opened the bundle. It contained crumbs of different kinds of food. That bundle contained crumbs, pieces of different kinds of food, and their spicy smell filled the air. We scattered in a circle. Scat means sit. Sit with bent knees. Scat. We scattered in a circle and stuffed ourselves greedily. We started eating. We began to eat greedily. We had never tasted food like that before. We were all really gluttonous. We were really hungry. We were all really gluttonous, very greedy for food. Our stomachs were as greedy as a beggar's sack. Their stomach is compared to the beggar's sack. When I got home, I told my mother all this. When I returned home, I told my mother all this, what happened during the picnic. Like the victim of a famine, she said, why didn't you get at least a small portion of it for me? Then mother asked this question. Why didn't you bring me at least a small portion of the leftover food? Why didn't you bring at least a small portion of the leftover food for your mother? Leftover food is nectar. Nectar is the food of gods. Amrut. ഉച്ഛിഷ്ടം അമൃത് പോലെയാണ്. Leftover food is nectar. Her words made Girmalia's farm quiver in my stomach. Quiver means shake, tremble. Hearing these words of my mother's words really pained me. Her words made Girmalia's farm shake in my stomach. When I went to school the next day, the teacher had already asked the boys and girls to write an essay on the picnic. The next day, when I went to school, the teacher had already asked the boys and girls to write an essay on the picnic. The teacher has given a work to the children. The teacher asked the boys and girls to write an essay on the picnic. The students of the 7th form in particular were busy writing the essay. The students of the 7th form, 7th standard, they already started writing the essay on picnic, their experiences. The students of the 7th form in particular were busy writing the essay. Although I was only in the 3rd form, the teacher had asked us also to write. The 7th form and the 3rd form, both these classes are run in the same room. Both the classes are run in the same room. The teacher asked the 3rd form students also to write the essay. Although I was only in the 3rd form, the teacher had asked us also to write. Both the classes were run in the same room, while the senior boys and girls wrote swiftly, quickly. I sat worrying, thinking what I should write. When the teacher noticed me apparently doing nothing, he grew annoyed. When the teacher noticed that I am not writing, I am doing nothing, he became angry and he shouted, "You son of a bitch." The teacher is using these words. Son of a bitch, son of a dog. Bitch is the female dog. Bitch is a female dog. The teacher called me son of a bitch, son of a dog. Come on, start writing. You like eating an ox. You are a beef eater. The teacher is taunting. You like eating an ox, don't you? I picked up my slate and pencil. I picked up my slate and pencil, spat on the slate. I spat on the slate, then smeared it, and wiped the slate with my shirt. After spitting on the slate, I wiped the slate with my shirt, which was already dirty. The shirt was already dirty because I used to wipe the slate with the shirt. Having been used like this so many times before, I didn't know how and what to write. I kept thinking of how we had scattered. I kept thinking of the experience in the picnic, thinking of how we had scattered in a circle under a tree in the forest. I thought how we sat under a tree, the Mahar boys separately sitting under a tree in a circle, eating. I remembered the hands of high caste boys and girls offering us their leftovers. I remembered the high caste boys and girls offering their food without touching us, offering their leftover food. The withered tree in whose shade we sat, the withered tree, dry, withered means dry. The withered tree in whose shade we sat, the bundle of leftovers, the bundle of leftover food. The question my mother had asked, everything appeared before my or in the mirror of my mind. And the teacher calling me son of a bitch and beef eater. I kept thinking of all these. How we sat in a circle under a tree in the forest, eating. I remembered the hands of high caste boys and girls offering us as their leftovers. The withered tree in whose shade we sat, the bundle of leftovers, the question my mother had asked, and the question my mother asked, why you didn't bring at least a small portion of the leftover food for your mother, her question. And the teacher calling me a son of a bitch and a beef eater. How should I start writing the essay my teacher had asked for? How should I start writing the essay my teacher had asked? Okay, thank you.